This is Robert Oppenheimer, the man who literally split the atom and changed the entire course of human history forever. Christopher Nolan called him the most important person who ever lived. But here's what nobody talks about. Before all of that, he was just a regular student, sitting in a classroom at Harvard, and so were Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Natalie Portman. So the real question isn't, are Harvard students smarter than you? The question is, why do they learn differently? Today I'm breaking down 3 techniques Harvard literally teaches its own students, backed by hard neuroscience. And I promise you, by the end of this video, the way you study will never be the same. And stick around till the end. Because the bonus technique, that's the one nobody talks about, and that's the one that actually changes everything. But before we get into that, let me show you something that's going to make you feel a little called out. You studied last night, right? Read your notes. Maybe highlighted some lines, rewrote a few things, felt productive, felt ready. Here's the actual truth. A German psychologist named Ebbinghaus spent his entire life studying how human memory works, and what he found was brutal. Within 1 hour of learning something new, your brain has already forgotten 50% of it. Within 24 hours then, that jumps to 70% gone. By end of the week, you only remember about 25% of everything you studied. So all those hours you put in, most of it, gone. Just like that. This is called the forgetting curve. And Harvard students, they know exactly how to hack it. Let's go. Technique number 1. Stop cramming. I know. You've done it forever. One night, full focus, 3 energy drinks, you feel like an absolute genius at 2 a.m. And then you walk into that exam and half of it is just gone. Here's exactly why that happens. Your brain has 2 types of memory, short-term and long-term. Think of short-term memory like your phone's RAM, fast but limited. It can only hold so much before it starts dropping things. Cramming is like trying to download 200 files in one night. Your brain physically cannot process all of it. Most of it never makes it to long-term memory. So you walk into the exam and it's just not there. But here's what Harvard teaches instead. It's called spaced repetition. And the concept is simple. Instead of studying everything once in a panic, you study in small chunks, spread across multiple days. Here's the actual schedule that the research shows works best. Study something once right after you learn it. Review it again, 24 hours later, then again, 1 week later, then one more time, a month later. Each time you review it, your brain sees it as important. It moves it deeper into long-term memory. The forgetting curve gets flatter every single time. And the results? Insane. Studies show spaced repetition can improve long-term retention by up to 200% compared to cramming. Not 20%, not 50%, 200%. That's the difference between barely passing and actually owning the exam. Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't have days to prepare. What if the exam is tomorrow? Valid. But here's the thing. This isn't about the exam that's already tomorrow. This is about every single exam after that. Start now. Even 15 minutes a day. Spaced out, consistent. That's how Harvard students study. Not harder, just smarter. Okay, but here's where it gets actually crazy. Technique number 2 is something your teachers have probably always told you not to do, and science says they were completely wrong. Technique number 2, take breaks. Wait. Before you close this video thinking I'm telling you to be lazy, hear me out, because this one has the most insane science behind it. Most students think studying means sit down, grind, don't stop, push through. No distractions, no breaks, pure discipline. That's actually one of the worst things you can do to your brain. Here's why. NIH researchers, that's the National Institutes of Health, did a study where they watched what happens inside the brain during and after learning. And what they found completely changed how we understand studying. During a break, your brain doesn't switch off. It actually starts rapidly replaying everything you just studied, like a highlight reel, but 20 times faster than real time. It's compressing the information, saving it, filing it away, and the more your brain replays it, the better you actually perform. The scientists literally found that most of the actual learning gains happened during the rest, not during the studying itself. Let that actually sink in. The break is the studying. Think of your brain like a video editor. You shoot the footage during the study session, but the real editing, the cutting, the saving, the organizing, that only happens when you step away from the camera. So what's the right way to do this? The method Harvard students swear by is called the Pomodoro Technique. 25 minutes of completely focused study, 5-minute break, real break, not scrolling reels. Repeat that 4 times, then take one longer 20 to 30-minute break. And during those breaks, walk around, get water, stare at the wall, let your brain do its thing. Because here's the thing about scrolling during breaks. Social media keeps your brain active. It doesn't let the replay happen. You're basically interrupting your own learning mid-save. Studies show that without proper breaks, stress builds up continuously in the brain. Performance drops, focus drops, retention drops. But students who take structured breaks, they come back sharper every single round. Studying harder without breaks isn't discipline. It's just slowly destroying your own learning. Okay, I've saved the most powerful technique for last. And honestly, this one technique alone is responsible for why Harvard students can walk into an exam and recall things other students completely forget. And it has nothing to do with how much you study. It's about how your brain retrieves information. Stay with me, because this is where it gets really good. Technique number 3. Harvard says review, 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 but not the way you're doing it right now. Let me ask you something. When you review your notes, what do you actually do? You read them, right? Maybe read them twice. Highlight a few things. Feel like you know it. That's called passive review, and science has completely destroyed it. A Harvard psychologist said, memorization seems like learning, but in reality, we probably haven't deeply processed that information enough to remember it days or even hours later. Here's the real data. Students who use passive reading, rereading, highlighting, remember only about 29% of the material. Students who use active recall remember 57% of the material. That's nearly double. Same time, same effort, nearly double the result. And when you combine active recall with spaced repetition, retention goes above 80%, even months later. So what is active recall? And simple. Instead of reading your notes, you close them, take a blank piece of paper, and write down everything you remember from scratch. No peeking. Whatever you can write, your brain has stored properly. Whatever you can't write, that's exactly what needs more work. It feels uncomfortable. It feels hard. That discomfort, that's not a bad sign. That's literally your brain building stronger neural pathways in real time. Harvard researchers actually have a name for this. They call it desirable difficulty. The idea that making learning slightly harder actually makes the memory significantly stronger. Think about it like the gym. Reading your notes is like watching someone else lift weights. Active recall is you actually lifting the weight. One builds the muscle, one doesn't. And here's the thing, active recall doesn't just help you remember more. Studies show students using it score 15 to 20% higher on exams. They also study 40% less time to reach the same level of mastery. Less time, better results. That's the Harvard way. Okay, I promised you a bonus. And this is the one that ties everything together. Harvard also says reward yourself. And I know that sounds obvious, but the neuroscience behind why it works, that's what nobody explains. Your brain has a chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure, about feeling good after something happens. But that's only half the story. Neuroscientists found that dopamine doesn't just fire when you get a reward. It fires when your brain anticipates a reward is coming. This is exactly why Instagram is so addicting. Every scroll has a potential reward. A funny video, a new like, a notification. Your brain is in a constant loop of anticipation. It can't stop. Harvard students flip this system and use it for studying. Here's how it works practically. After every study session, you give yourself a real reward, something you actually enjoy. Your favorite food, an episode of your show, a call with your friend, anything. Do this consistently, and something crazy starts happening. Your brain starts associating studying with that reward. It starts anticipating the reward before the session even starts. And suddenly, it stops fighting you. It starts pulling you towards the books. You're not forcing yourself anymore. Your own brain chemistry is working for you. That's not motivation. That's not discipline. That's just neuroscience. And that's the real reason Harvard students don't struggle to sit down and study. They've trained their dopamine system to want it. Oppenheimer didn't change the world because he was born a genius. He just learned how to use his brain better than everyone else around him. And now, so can you. See you in the next one.